Oh no.
See,
Yeah, I know nothing of this,
I
so.
I barely know anything about this either. Dozens dead as Israel and Hamas escalate aerial bombardments.
Yeesh.
This is from Reuters.
Reuters,
Um,
yeah.
this is from May 11th, so this is like 4 days ago. So this is like right after it happened. Hostilities between Israel and Hamas escalated on Tuesday, raising the death toll in 2 days to 32 Palestinians and 3 people in Israel, with Israel carrying out multiple airstrikes in Gaza and the militant group firing rockets at Tel Aviv. A 13-story residential building in Gaza collapsed after it was hit by an Israeli airstrike, one of hundreds that Israel said it had carried out against Hamas targets. So one of the things that Hamas does, and this is kind of shitty, is they'll set up their missiles, the launch sites next to schools, next to hospitals, next to buildings with people in them, so that when Israel retaliates, they're hitting civilian targets.
Yeah.
And so it looks bad on Israel, and that's nothing new. They do it all the time. In fact, the Russians used to do it all the time too.
Mm-hmm. What is Hamas?
Hamas is the governing body in Israel or Palestine. So you have like the Israelis and you have Hamas, and so they have that giant wall. It's like separating Israel right now, and
Mm.
so that they're the guys on the other side of the wall from Israel, from the
Oh, wow.
Israelites.
Wow.
I have this video here. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
The deadly confrontation
Yes.
between Israelis
All right,
and
this
Palestinians is
was
still
interesting.
escalating tonight. This one exploded. It's now early morning in the Middle East. Hundreds of rockets have been fired into Israel from Gaza. Israel is responding with more air attacks. There have already been numerous civilian casualties. We get our report tonight from foreign correspondent Mark Stone from our sister network, Sky News.
So this is crazy.
Tonight in Tel Aviv, images that change everything in an escalation that has already spiraled so fast. Flights at the international airport were urgently suspended and diverted. Hamas said it was a specific target. And on the streets, injured Israelis, which, for Israel, will move this conflict onto a different level.
Damn.
Yeah, so I decided to bring up the video because it's if reading about it doesn't make it real, seeing it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was they have a guy talking about, there's a guy right here that's actually, it's a reporter, and he's like running for shelter.
Sirens sounded through the day. The Israeli communities here are used to attacks from Gaza, but not this many in just a few hours.
This is the third time it's happened since we've been here. You hear the wail of the sirens, and then moments later, sometimes the thud of the rockets as they come
That's
in.
insane.
From Gaza, there have been scores of rockets over the course of the past few hours, most of them hitting here around this town.
The Israeli Defense Forces spokesman was here, keen to show us what Israel faces from Hamas.
I don't want to use too much of this. There is part of this that I wanted to show. I think it's this section right here. I'm going to mute it.
Oh, is it where they shows them like shooting him down?
Yeah, so like you can see the.
This is crazy.
I think these are rockets coming from the Palestine side to Israel, or it might be vice versa. But yeah, you can see the anti rockets coming up here, and so then they're just colliding midair, and it's like they're shooting the rockets down midair there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
Let's see. In Tel Aviv, air raid sirens were heard around the city for Israel. The militants targeting of Tel Aviv, its commercial capital, posed a new challenge in the confrontation with the Islamist Hamas group, regarded as a terrorist organization by Israel and the United States.
Mm.
The violence followed weeks of tension in Jerusalem during the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, with clashes between Israeli police and Palestinian protesters in and around Al-Aqsa Mosque on, I probably fucked that up, on the compound revered by Jews as the Temple Mount and by Muslims as the Noble Sanctuary.
Mm.
So yeah, that's the thing that's happening. And so we've got
Wow.
gas shortages, we've got a global pandemic, we have people in the Middle East killing each other. Governments in the Middle East killing each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sauce shortages.